Hello, hello, hello. Are we live? I think so. Amazing. We are live. I can see it on my studio app. So, guys, welcome back. From today onwards, we will be using a desktop format. We kind of ditch the mobile view, at least for now. Uh, Maybe I could share this thing so that we can have people joining. Probably. Okay. Mm-hmm. So there we go. We need to just all right. So guys who have joined, just bear with me for a minute. You can say in the time. All right. So, do we have any people here? We have three viewers. So guys, please let me know if the stream is going well. I mean, if my audio video is clear. I can see no issues here on the OBS. Okay, so before starting, let me just tell you what are we going to build. It will be a series, a complete series, and by the end of this series, we will have a. Okay, Lalit, hi. Thank you for responding. I really appreciate it. Uh, So, what are we going to build? Let's discuss that first. Okay, so we are going to build a full stack application, right? And so, as always, it will be a front end and a back end, right? So, it will be a front end and a back end. Now, this front end will be on TypeScript. If you want it on React, let me know. I can, switch it. But I think we should implement TypeScript. And for the backend, we'll use, as always, the crab Rust. And how are we going to do it? Will it be backend heavy, front end heavy? It depends. I will make the application backend first, so I will implement Rust layer first. TypeScript will implement it later. So for backend, we are going to use Actix Web framework. So we are going to use Actix Web, and we will use probably we'll use MySQL or any database. Hopefully database connectivity will not be covered today, but we can always check that out later in the suggestion which database to use, maybe Postgres, like anything. So but for now, let's understand how will our backend work, what we will do. So what kind of application are we creating? So we are creating a simple CRUD application. I'm not sure, I mean, what to do with front end, but possibly it would be something like, about orders. Maybe I could like simply think of that. So yeah, so it will be a CRUD application for orders. We'll create order, we'll see order, we will kind of delete order, or something like that, or maybe something else. But the backend system will mostly work on the CRUD thing. Maybe we could implement some bulk processing, things like that, but that's completely different thing. So yeah, so mostly a backend will be CRUD as always. It will create something, it will update something, delete something, read something out of a database. So we'll do that. And what else? Again, we'll learn everything in this by while implementing our backend with Actix Web. We'll implement how Rust can be utilized to create backend systems for web applications. So we'll do that. We'll create middlewares. We'll create a good login method, with OTP kind of thing, and securing tokens on the client side. And with each request client sends, will there will be a token as well. So we'll do that as well. We'll see how we write middlewares using Actix Webs and all. So I haven't memorized everything because everything is available. So we'll check out Actix Web documentation for that. We'll see how this thing works. So this will be our project for now. We'll create a crude application for order. You can name it anything, for orders basically. So it will be a CRUD application. It will be backend first application. So I'll start with backend first. We'll go with TypeScript later, or maybe one day backend, one day front end. So this way we could have thing. Again, my previous stream I implemented those monitors, right? Process monitor, network monitor, and file watcher kind of thing. It has been pushed on Git. It's open. I have created an issue there as well. So maybe if you guys can check that out, I will post the repo link on the chat, and check out my channel as well. I already have a post on my YouTube channel, also on Twitter. So that has a complete link to the issue. So you can go there, check out the issue, and see what's happening. There is no hard rule for submitting a PR, but I would love to see a good, a well formatted PR that states about the issue, what problem it solves, and how to test it. It would be good if you write unit test as well. Well, that's not like recommended in this scenario, but it would be good if you write unit test. Maybe you can take help of LLMs if you are not very savvy about writing tests. So because I don't prefer to write test, because I try to cover all the cases on the while debugging any program. So anyways, it's up to you, but that thing you can do. Okay, I'm getting a notification. What's that? Just give me a minute. Okay. All right. So where were we? Yeah, this thing I will do. Check out that rappelling. Let me just paste it over here. github.com slash. And if you are new on the stream, check out my other videos. And with this desktop format, I hope everyone who is watching this thing should be a guy who is learning tech or is in the tech profession. So I would urge you to subscribe to this channel. Check out my other videos as well. Give your valuable feedbacks as well. All right. So we'll start in a minute now. It's 11:19. We'll start about 11:21. Okay. Let me check if there is any. So if you want to, you guys can follow me there as well on the like this on my GitHub account. Okay. So guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask on chat, and make sure to like this stream and share it with your friends as well so that we can have more people joining. We are about to start. We'll see how to get started, and most importantly, we will learn how to tackle a problem, process a problem, how to think in a way so that we can create something out of it. I should open Actix web documentation. All right, get started. Okay, so whoever is on the stream, don't feel shy to say hi. That would be good if you guys interact. And oh, I think my camera is is it good now? Every time I get a call, my camera just gets blurry. Hmm. Yes. Here we are. Okay, so guys, stick on this stream. It will be a long stream, so I would recommend you to, you can, if you have a laptop, you can start side by side. And if you are very new to Rust, I would suggest you to just go through the Rust documentation. It's a simple steps how you can, get started with this. And if you are a beginner in Rust, or you are familiar with how to create write a program, and how to about familiar some about some concepts, then it would be fairly easy to come along. Okay, so Actix Web, we are going to use this thing now. What is Actix Web? So while working on the backend systems, you must have tackled a Node.js server. So now you can create backend servers with Rust as well, and Actix Web help us to do so. Actix Web has like functions, APIs that we are going to use. It is a complete framework. So we are going to use that thing to create a server, to create a middleware that's completely async, right? Hopefully, not hopefully, it should be internally implementing Tokyo, async runtime. So we'll use that thing, and we'll create a backend familiar to Node.js. What Node.js does, I will do that here. We will have routes properly integrated, and all the architecture will be prod grade. So we have route in separate files, we have middlewares controllers in separate files, it would be a well structured thing. So we'll start this, but for the starters, we'll go through the Actix web documentation, how it provides a function, how simple it is to create a server. Instead of if you go through the Rust book, let me just go you Rust book, the Rust programming book. On the very last of it, we have you know how to create a server. So it's a single threaded server. I'll check for multi-threaded server would be there. Yeah. So if you go through the Rust book, you'll see a very last of the like the on the 21st chapter, it has a final project that is called how to build a multi-threaded server. And if you have gone through this book, you'll understand how a kind of very verbose and very it's kind of very tedious to create a server using, and it's with every language, right? We always have some framework that makes our thing easy. So if you go through it, you'll see you need to so you need to use TCP listener. You will bind this thing a port to it, and you will fetch the stream that is incoming. Hopefully here we will, I think we will have a thread pool that threads will create, and it will use threads of our system. Now again, Raghav Chodda, hello. So, as from the last stream, you must have seen why thread pool is easier to understand, but not very good idea to if we are going to build a scalable system. That is why we need async runtime, because threads are based on our systems specifications, right? While on the async, we can parallelly and concurrently like run millions of requests. So yes, you can see we'll have something you can handle like this. If you go through the Rust book, we'll have a stream that you create a buffer out of it, and from this you will take the request. Now I just want to show you where it will create a thread pool. So this is all stream dot write all thing, right? Now I won't say, like, I am not saying that you shouldn't go through it. You should go through it, because that's how the all the basics are, right? You have to understand how this thing is there, because the guy who created all those wrappers would have like known this thing, right? Rustlinks is easy. Yes, yes, yes. Hmm. Yes, Rustlinks is easy because it has already, it only asks questions. You only need to do that change. So Rustling is fairly easy. So it means you are like going through the chapter well. Just keep going. I think you said options, right? Yeah, options. You'll see, like, I think you'll face some things about traits and generics. That one is pretty, like, not very much hard, little bit hard. Uh, but try to understand that well. And if you learn about generics, traits, and those implementations and how to do that, try to open a separate tab and check out for questions as well, so that you will have that thing ready. Yes, wrestlings is hmm, mm, yeah, yeah, you're right, it is not very hard. Hmm. Yep. So yeah, this thing contents, it will do this thing contents. It reads a single threaded server. I think this is a single threaded server. You had a thread. You every 5 seconds it will do this thing. Now implementing a through thread pool, using a thread pool, we'll have multiple threads. Thread dot spawn, you spawn for each listener. So listener dot incoming, for each incoming connection you created a thread, creating finite number of threads. Okay, yeah. So if you go through this thing, then you will understand why Actix Web is a requirement, or why Exam is a requirement. Other than those things, any other way to practice Any other way to practice is I am not sure if I tell you earlier, but there is a site called exercism. You can go for and I am currently in college. I don't know how to choose projects to build. That's all right, no problem. Think about, so you don't like, if you are starting and learning Rust, you can create any, just like I'm doing this. So you can so I also have faced this dilemma, right? So what I did, I had a Node.js server currently running, so I tried to replicate it. So you do that as well. You see BitTorrent, you see Git, you see every application that's in web, every application that is working on your system. Try to replicate that thing. Go start slow. Take help from the community. Search in Google, look for articles, vlogs. Definitely, it will make you more curious. Uh, yeah, something like that. So if you can replicate Git, that would be good, right? If you can replicate Redis, if you can replicate anything, that would be good. So learning, this is the best way to learn, when you recreate and rewrite the things that are already written. And because one thing, that you know about that tool way much deeper if you are trying to, recreate it. Not only in Rust, in Mern also. If I can make it, but I don't find motivating. If I try, I can make, but I don't find motivating. Yes, the only motivation you need to currently should have is to, earn money after the college. So, uh, if you don't want to like create your own project, try to contribute in open source. Go for GSOC's website, where there you will have very good projects that are already there. Contributing to them will get your repo up, like your reputation up. You will earn badges on GitHub. You will have the understanding of a production ready code and how to work on that. You will meet with many people there who are the maintainers, and so you can do that. So that's all right if you like. So let me just show you. If you go over here, how to contribute, I don't know about it. Okay, so how to contribute? Okay, so do one thing. Go on my Git repo. Try to update the README. Take local. Okay, take the clone. Try to update the README and push it. Try to do that. That's called contributing. So you contributed on README. In the same way, but very cautiously. Please, I repeat this. Don't poke the maintainers of code, because we already have a bad reputation of uh, contributing to readme file. But for starters, you can create on you can contribute on my directory just to get going. So that's why I created issue today from the last project that I created. And so also I haven't put any hard rule of creating a PR. Otherwise, if you go on the other that are the big projects, they have a certain template or something, certain format of a PR. So you follow that format, you follow those guidelines, you follow, you be under that line, that will and then only you can submit a PR, and that will be viewed. Otherwise, it considered a bad practice to do that. So you go over here, you'll see like all these organizations that are on GSOC. Here you can filter out of it. Maybe if you are in MERN, then you can say, let's search for React. So you'll have organizations that are using React. So as you can see, it's a Plone Foundation. It's a Python-based CMS with React front end. I have seen the issue you have posted, but how to find the issue, which I can solve? Now that is some question. Great question. Okay. So I mean, if you think that that issue is very high, uh, so don't do that. It's okay. Uh, so okay. So let's find this thing. Let's go here. I'll answer your question here. So these are the these things, right? These are the organizations. You filtered it out based on this thing, whatever role you skill set you have, you can filter it out from here. Now let's go here and only, because it has React front end, I filtered with React. Now let's suppose you are a React front end heavy guy, and you need some good organization to do so. So I am sure that we haven't heard, even I mean, we haven't heard all of these organizations that are on GSOC. You must have heard Zulip, Fedora, of course. It's a Linux distro. So these things, FreeBSD, of course, Chromium. So these all are here on the GSOC, like on the GSOC organization. So let's open this thing. So here, as you can see, so these are the technologies that are used: Python, JavaScript, React, and it says that it's a kind of CMS, a web CMS. Mm-hmm. So if you go through these things, these are the contributors, these are the project details. You need to explore these things, and somewhere you will find the repo link. Again, I'm being very serious about it. Please don't go just blindly follow what I'm saying. Don't just find a repo and start poking the maintainers and start contributing. If you want to really if you want to contribute, or you are being curious, then I have the GitHub repo that I created. Do that, do those things on that repo. These repo that are on GitHub, these are like maintained well, and they don't want. Yes, 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 absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, yeah. So that's why, yeah, yeah, you don't have to spam, and so if you want to do anything, you can, I have a repo. You can do those things on it. Try everything, whatever you want to learn, whatever you want to see. Yeah. So go here, you will have the GitHub list. And of course, now you know that once you open a repo, let me just try to find it. If not, we'll go on next organization. So here we don't have anything. So you need to keep searching like this, right? So on the project details, maybe someone has the link to repo. Hmm. So these are the fixes that they did, or any feature that they added. These are the ideas, and uh, so maybe you can directly search them from their name as well on the GitHub. So if you want to search Plone, go on the GitHub, press / and write Plone. But I'm just going from here. So these are the idea list, contributor guidance. Let's open this thing. GitHub profile. So this is the proposal template. If you want to submit a proposal, that's a completely different thing. Let's go back from here. Let's go over here. Okay, so we have a website over here that is of Open Healthcare Network. That's organization that came on GSOC. So it is supported by Akhil Bharatiya Takniki Shiksha Parishad Cochin. It's a kind of our thing. So we have a GitHub over here. If I go there, I have a repo. I can see their repository over here, and these are the things. So as you can see, KRFE, it's in TypeScript. Care is in this thing. Leaderboard, it uses Next.js, Tailwind CSS, and it's TypeScript. So you can go for them. It's open source, and try to take local, and try to run it on your own first. Try to take local. Setting up the project on local is a first roadblock that you'll see always. Try to do that, and then just to be sure, just remove the .git folder once you set it up, so that it will not get the .git folder will have all the instruction to track those folder, like the directory. So you remove that, it will not be tracked by Git. It's completely on your local now. So you run that thing, And now you look for, let's suppose I want to go here, and now you look for the issues on the issues tab, right? You can filter those issues as well. So make sure to run read all the documentation on the code part, right? How to run these things and all. If I go over here and check for labels, I'll have a good first issues. There should be, it should be there. So it's a good first issue. It clearly says good for newcomers. So you click on that thing. Now all the issues that are there will be good first. So these are possibly probably very simple things that a newcomer can do. So it says there is an error. Use readable names for selected location in healthcare service. Replace span with badge component across the code base. So these guys have, I think, they did that. There are few PRs as well, also a few discussions going on. So instead of directly contributing here, take it on local and try to solve this issue on locally. If you have any issue, go on the code thing and with respect try to maybe ask the contributors. They have their contact information. Without poking them, with their permission, ask them to for any issue. Before asking, you should like always look how you can deal with that issue, how to solve that thing. So do that first and only try to go with them. So this way you can contribute. I hope this answers your question, Raghav. uh, So this is how you do. If you don't have any excellent, like very good project idea, or you don't are in a turmoil that how to, what should I do? It's better to always do a contribution, because it you will have the hands-on idea of how the production system is working, and so this way you can do that thing. No problem, no problem. Okay, so yeah. Uh, so on my this thing. Uh, So maybe if yeah, 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 sure, sure, sure. So for starters, if you really want to contribute to see how it works, take this clone and try to update the README and push it. Yes, 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 yes. Yeah, yeah. Correct, correct. No problem. Sure. So try to update this thing, README and all thing. So I only have this notify create link over here. So what I did was I used pnet, pcap, sysinfo crates as well. So maybe you can add these things, do then push it. So I have two branches already. Maybe you can create a third branch and merge all these things in a third branch, because this async implementation that I did was completely different from I mean, it's for only the async migration for the thread based approach. So you can do that as well. Issue that I created like this, it's a good first issue. So I have all the information over here, like what is the issue, what you will learn, what is the acceptance criteria, how to get started. And if not, there is always a discussion tab over here. Yeah, there is always a discussion tab over here, and you can do that. I also have the link which you guys take help to implement this feature. So you'll only have to use this IO module. It will help you how to do that. So yeah, that's it. Try to fix that issue and contribute. So going back to Actex Web, our new project. So guys, if you are watching this stream, say hi on the chat. I would love to see the guys, and share this video with your friends as well. Amazing, amazing. Thank you, whoever liked. That is good. That was good. Okay, we are going to start. Okay, now Actix Web does that. Okay, so it will help us. Now we see that how how to create a multi-threaded server on Rust. So from our past streams, we figured out that mostly clickbait videos get views. Yes, 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 absolutely. So yeah. So now let's go inside this thing and see how Actix Web does that. So we have seen how the Rust book has chapter number 21 that states about how to create a multi-threaded server, right? Now let's go what Actix Web provide us. So we'll go fast. Let's understand this thing. Long ago, Actix Web was built on top of Actix Actor framework. Now, Actix Web is largely unrelated to Actor framework, okay, but built using a different system. Through Actix is still maintain its usefulness as a general tool is diminishing the feature. Okay, okay. We can call Actix Web a powerful pragmatic framework for all intents and purposes. It's a micro framework with few twists. If you are already a Rust programmer, you will probably find yourself at home quickly. But even if you are coming from another programming language, you should find Actix Web easy to pick up. Yes, I agree that. Okay, so let's go ahead. So it says how to get installed. So you see now, let's go here. So this is how you create an async Actix Web server. Now you understand, right? How Rust, like the raw way to create a HTTP server, a single threaded HTTP server, and then converting them using a thread pool to generate like to spawn every thread for a single incoming request. Instead, we can Actix Web does that. So it's a main function that we made async. It returns a result, right? And it has a struct called http server. It has a, and how do you initiate this, and it has it takes a closure. It has app.new service. These are the service. This is how you provide routes, and I mean this is the raw way to do so. Now I'm going to study. Good day, sir. Good day, good day. Good luck for your studies. Work hard, buddy. And yeah, bye bye, see you later. So yeah, you can compile this thing, run. So before that, we will install Actix Web. Okay, and how do we do that? We'll use cargo, right? Before that, let's create a new cargo. I'll name it Actix Crude. All right, Actix Crude. Here we are, and Vim. All right. So here we are. Now I need to let me know if this thing is really like. Let me just increase the font size. I think it would be good. What do you say? Yeah, I think it is good. So let's start this thing. Uh, if you want to know how, like, what are my configuration files for NeoVim, let me know that as well. I'll create another repo for my latest configs. So we'll do cargo add Actix Web. All right, we did that. We'll definitely need few other crates, like how to manipulate, how to properly, if you are working with a backend, you know how important JSON format is, right? How important parsing JSON and how important the JSON is. So we need a crate for that as well. There is a crate called serd. We are going to use serd JSON for it. So we'll come on it later. So now that we have installed this thing, now let's work on something good. Now let's create a mental map. How our server will look like. So from if you have worked like created any server, you know a few things while creating a server. Why it's so slow? So on a server, we have few things. We have a file called .env that we use it to hide our secrets. That is not going to be pushed on Git, right? We manually do that on server by going there. There is another thing called middlewares, right? There is another thing called routes, and there is another thing called DB. Savan, hey, what's the new project? Hello, hello, Savan, welcome back. The new project is about creating a full stack application. The front end will be on TypeScript, the back end will be on Rust. I'm using Actix Web Framework for it. So it will be our project to learn and understand how Rust can be used in web development and writing backend server. So that's what I was doing. Right. So these are server components. Right. So all of these things will be provided and done by Actix Web. Uh, some of you might argue there is also Exam and Rocket and all, but I choose Actix Web because I started working on this thing and I am now working on this thing, and I find it like a good. I didn't find any issues on it while working, so I'm using Actix Web now. Okay, so middleware, routes, .env and database and all of these things combinedly work and produce a response to the client. There is a client setting over here. It constantly make request and receive a response, and it use that response on the it shows the response to the world. So this is how we do. So all these things we'll understand how Actix Web, what we are going to do with Actix Web, what all functions do we have to write middleware, how do we map it on the on those functions, how to call middlewares, how to create route, and how to create a route file separately. So currently, if you can see the Actix Web documentation, everything is written over here, right? Hello, eco, manual. But instead, a good approach would be to have a clear separation of concerns. We will have a separate file that will deal with controllers, that will deal with middlewares, that will create another function that will contact DB. We'll use SQLX. We'll use SQLX. It's a kind of, it's not a very perfect ORM because it also accepts raw queries, but we are going to use that. Okay, so yes, where were we? Yeah, we are going to do that. So yeah, and we'll learn how we can do all those things together. But from now, we'll maintain a file called env file. On the env file, we'll have our all the credentials and prod URLs, localhost URLs. So we'll work it like we are working on a prod environment. but it will have all the local setup, local environment setup. So we'll have our port number there, we'll have everything there. So now let's start. Maybe we can run a simple server, and with the postman we can test it. So how is your day going, Sean? Okay, now let's go. So guys, make sure to like this stream, and also you can share this video with your friends as well. All right. So now let's focus. So as I told, we will have our all the ports, and the port that it will run locally. It will be on env. So we'll do that. But let's first go and see. There is a thing called make file in Rust. Right? I forgot to do a dot make. So make file in context that automates common development tasks like building, testing, cleaning, packaging the project. So we will create a make file and we'll write all our instructions into it. And what will happen is, instead of manually writing very big commands like to clean, to to run with the flags, to run it with a watch on a specific directory, we are going to create a make file. We'll write our set of instruction into it, and then we will simply run that command that is written on the make file. So we'll do that. It starts with like make. We'll define something called run, and we can simply write then make a run, and whatever is written inside the run, whether be it's cleaning the cache first or cleaning the packages again on every start, it will do as per command. That's all written in the make file. So how to create a no, this is not. So let's understand this thing. How do we do that? So build test clean, that is fine. Alternative to cargo make, okay. And also to sorry also to replicate features like node mon in node.js. we will use cargo watch, so that we can have always have a hot reloading. Whatever changes do we make, we don't have to go run again and again. It will pick it from here. It will just keep watch on a directory for any changes. As soon as anything changes, it will rerun the program. Okay, so now let's go ahead and create a make file. So let's create a make file. What's this? Okay, now what we have to do, we need to type a command. So we have only will type a command run, so it will check for run command. So you can define multiple commands over here. I defined run, and for run you will now declare what else is going to be on run, right? If you want to print out something, you will say echo, you'll say running the server, you know and you can always provide a kind of emoji. How do I create the emoji like this? I can always check for rocket. Yeah, I can do that. So running the server, this thing. Now what will do? It will you can use this command, and for new line this, and here you will see now you can also enter command as well. So you'll say cargo. As I told, I'm going to use watch command, you know and I'll do this. So let's see how it goes. I'll close this thing, and I'll say, first of all, I'll say cargo build. We can define another thing as well. We'll say, we can also do, we can say build, and build. So probably you can say cargo build. So if I remove this, now if I do make build, so you see now cargo build is running. Though I'm running make build, it is internally running cargo build. So that's how the make file works. So you define a set of commands, and you can write a complete set of instruction there. So instead I can create my custom commands as well. So I'll create that one too. I'll create a command by my name. I'll say actix start, actix run, server run, web run, something like that. And inside those things I can write a certain set of instructions that it will follow. Uh, by so it's a kind of aliasing. So I alias a name, my name, to build command as well. I can do that. So as soon as I do make Vipin, it will build the thing, right? Let me just show this. So if I go over here, instead of build, I'll say Vipin, and here I can do Vipin, and if I do this, and I'll say make Vipin, it's building the thing. You know that now Vipin is an alias to cargo build. So I can do anything on that. Let me just show you. If I go over here, and instead of cargo build, I'll say cargo clean, always clean, and then build. So if I do this and go over here, I'll say make Vipin. It will first clean the project and then again build the project. You see, it first clean and then now it's again building. So this is how a make file will help you to do so. So we created a command alias called run, and now I'll simply do make run instead of saving the logs or saving the info. I can write the entire set of instruction onto it. It will perform, instead of writing very huge long set of commands. I can simply create a make file, and I can create my custom commands and write a set of instruction into it, and it will work. So yeah. So guys, this video needs to be shared, and you have to share this video with your friends as well. Then we can uh, also on the pre compile. इतना फास्ट कैसे हो रहा है? सिस्टम ही बैठा पड़ा है, सब कुछ चल रहा है इसमें. So this is how make file will come to rescue when you will have, or when you need to do all those things. So now instead of Vipin, I can simply say build, and let's replace this thing with the original thing. We don't need to clean each time. We can do this. So okay, now to replicate node-mon properties, we will use cargo watch. Now if I do a make run, it will run our project, right? So if I do a make run, running the server, it says running the server because that's been written on the make file. And again, this is the project running hello world. All right. Now in order to you know implement Actix web here, now let's go on the documentation and see how it works. But before that, we need to add few more things. We need a crate that we will take help of to read our .env variables, because we'll store some urls and password of our database, url, prod url, localhost url, and port numbers on the env file. So let's do that. So there is a package called, so there is a crate called .env. So .env.ok, and we can have env.vars, and we can print all those things. It's a key value, it returns a tuple, and we can use key to fetch its value. All right, it depends on the standards env thing. We'll have a env.env crate. This is so let's do this things. Cargo add .env. Cargo add .env. So by the way, are you guys familiar? I was just wondering, are you familiar with that guy who lost about $500,000, or maybe $500,000, something like that, while coding with cursor? So it just hit me when I installed this thing. So I was like rechecking for every name, whatever the crate's name is. So it turns out that that guy was coding on cursor, and he was a blockchain dev. So what he did was you know, he installed a kind of package that VS Code store has already uh, to work with Solidity. So as a helper only, that just like we have Prettier, right? ESLint, all these packages that help us to format the code, to warn us whether are you following the linting rules or not. So install that, and it turns out that there is already नहीं 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 जिसमें डेटाबेस उड़ाया नहीं था, उसके क्रिप्टो वॉलेट से रुपए उड़ा दिए थे। डेटाबेस उड़ा देता तो खुद वो बच ही जाता। बट अराउंड आई थिंक $500,000 हैज़ बीन जस्ट वैनिश्ड। So it turns out that he installed. I'm not getting the exact word for that thing. If you have ever worked on VS Code, there is a list of all the packages that you can install to get take help. So he installed that, and he didn't go through the VS Code. Actually, it doesn't go through the VS Code store. It was using cursor on VS Code, and the cursor took it to a separate Play Store. I don't know if it's their Play Store or what. So it fetched the result from there. He just extension, correct. So he added the Solidity extension, and it was actually a fake extension. It has fake reviews, fake downloads, and it was exactly as same as the original one. So he installed it. Then one day he just checked that how many what is the status of this thing. He checked it that, and it was a bad day for him. $500,000 gone. So he give a contract to a company, Kaspersky, that that check for it, that searches for any evidences that where the leak has happened, whether he was very curious. That he was also, I think, a streamer as well. So he was always making sure that he didn't use leak its any of the public wallet address and all. It's not about address, it's about the phrase keys. I think that is very important, and it is recommended to not even store them digitally on your any of the devices. You need to write them on paper and keep it in a safe logged somewhere, because if it's in a device, and if it can go, even the Google guys can also do that, because there is no like tracking of where the money goes. So it's completely transparent, and it's in web 3, as they say. So it turns out that he installed that extension, and when they dig deeper, there was a line of code that fetches a script from a third party, I don't know, from external world, and it runs and it checks for the pass keys, crypto wallets, passwords, and all on the system. And it was just a two-line code. It was doing nothing. It was a simple fetch statement written that fetches a script from a third party, like a external world, and run it on the system. So how AI, it works. But if you are not aware of the environment, it can. But I think mistakes happen even with the guy who was so curious, like so well informed blockchain developer. But you know but that was a huge hit even to me as well, even though I don't have any money. But I can still think that how that guy should be feeling right now. 500,000 worth of crypto gone. And the bad part is, it was, the store, it was reported, then it was already reported, that extension. And the day he installed that thing, it was removed day after that. So with one day only, it was hit. So I just got that thing while installing this .env crate, because I was just keep checking again and again that .env spelling. Okay, now we have .env. Now we can simply go here and create a file, a dot file for .env. Always when you create a .env file, try to create a sample file as well, so that that sample file can be pushed on GitHub, so that a user know what all variables they need to enter. Though it will not have any specific value, it will only have a template. They will only have a key only. right? So we'll do dot env dot sample. So this env dot sample will have exactly the same fields as a proper dot env file, but it will be pushed on GitHub so that a user who is taking a clone should know that okay, these are the fields that I need to edit on my env file. So I need to contact a team for that, or a guy that has the key that he can pass it to securely. So in order to see the hidden files, I'll press Shift H. I can say port. What the heck? I'll say port equals. Let's run it on 302. Right. The same way we'll have our uh, database URL like this. But this thing, the key only, it has to be go on env samples as well. Let's close this thing. If I go over here and I go env sample, I'll do this. I can say here I will port number for the server. So this way I'll have a env sample file as well that will only have the specifications of what is there on the env file that you need to add it. I'll go again on the tree and press again to hide those files. Now we have .env installed. Yes, I think now we are good. Now let's go on the documentation part. How are we going to do that? Let's close this thing. Close this thing. So it says I can do this thing. HTTP server new, app new, service run await. Okay. So for that I need to use Actix web main procedural macro, and I'll need to make a main function async. Let's do this thing. I'll say async, and I will do Actix web main, and I'll have it says it has HTTP server. It will initiate this thing. It will create an app inside it. If you are aware of Express in Node.js, you must be familiar with this thing, right? It takes a new app that you can bind it to, you can port it to, just like that. And finally you can run it. So this is all we are going to do. Instead of this 8080 port that he hard coded over here, we will fetch it with env. So this way we'll have our env implemented, and this URL is always it's a universal localhost URL, so that is fine. And here it says service service will not go directly over here. We'll have a separate route file for that, so we will do that. Now let's quickly go and implement how we will implement this thing. So we'll do .env. So let's use it, and there is a method called OK. It returns an option of uh, option that will have a key value pair. So we'll have env, right? So how do we fetch from the env? So you also need a standard env thing to use this thing. Okay, so if I say env, so I need to use it from the this thing, and I will have a var, right? I'll have a var function, and inside that var function I'll have my key. The key is already on the uh, env file, right? It has a name of this thing. I can now unwrap, or else I can do that. Here I will have so it's a kind of fallback. If there is a no key, then I'll have a default port of 3002, right? It takes a string, so this is a fallback. So env bar is already here. So this is how you use env var. It accept but it takes 0 arguments. Okay, now I have port number as well, so I can keep the port number over here. I'll call it let port. So in order to check that, I'll simply do println port port. Now this fallback and the key will make sure if env variable is not available, then a fallback would be to defaultly assign a port number over here. All right. The same goes for localhost URL as well. So currently we'll use we can say host, we can say host, and we'll have a localhost 127.0.0.1 over here, and we can clearly the way I'm writing over here is I want to show you something. I haven't added host on the env file, right? You see there is only port, but still this fallback will make sure that if the host is not found on the env, a default localhost url will should be there, right? So if I go and do make run, so you see a host, I am getting a host, though I haven't added it on env, but the fallback is making sure that I have this thing, and the port is always a 302 that we have uh, already published on the env file. Yes, you can do that as well, because this is already returning option. So amazing, we have 3 likes on our desktop view and 2 people watching. So it would be amazing if you guys can share this video with your friends as well. So yeah, amazing. Thank you for whoever is liking this video. Okay, now let's go. I will just do this thing, and this is the way to do that. Let me first return a result of unit type, or yeah, from here. What happened? It takes 2 generic arguments. Actix web result, but I think it is from the standard IO, so we can do that. Expected because of return type. You see this thing very often here. Let's not get into the errors right now. Let me just first create a function only, a server only. We can test it out with Postman as well. So we call it, let say server, equals we have HTTP server, right? We'll initiate it. It says it will take this thing and will have app, a new app. This is it, like this is the thing, right? So if you want to have a new app, then we will always you can do that. And we have a thing called wrap. It's a middleware, right? If you want to wrap, if you want to add middlewares over here, you can use wrap. Okay. Here you can add the middlewares as well. Okay, what happened? Wrap, right? And inside this, there goes the middleware. So I'll make sure if I have force. No, do we don't have force? No. All right. So let's not do this thing. So basically, in this wrap, we can define our course, we can define our allowed credential, our headers, if it supports credential, what would be the maximum age of the credentials and something like that. And also, we can have this wrap functions to to configure our routes. No, I think ref function would be only there for middlewares. Let's suppose we want our request to check for auth keys every time we want our AP, this backend server. For each request, I want to check that there is a security token in the headers or cookies. Oh, sorry, on the headers only for the incoming request. So I need to use a ref function for that. So inside this ref, I will do the all the middleware kind thing. So we will definitely go into it but later. But for now I will configure routes over here, right? So I'll say routes init. Here I can configure routes, and routes is my definitely you know routes init dot rs. So I can go over here and say use routes. I didn't do a mode.rs. Mode.rs. Cannot find module init. Yes, because we need to write something. Main function is not allowed in async. Main function is not allowed to be async. But why? I have used the main thing right over here. So we'll define routes as well. And once I do this, I need to bind it on the this thing, and then we need to run it. So I'll say bind. I have an address, so I'll say host port and this thing, right? Oh, okay, that is cool. I need this as well. So it's a tuple that will take a kind of host and port. And after this thing, I can say server dot run dot await, right? Maybe I could just return this. So for this thing, if I want it to return, then I'll return stdio result. I'll do this. Just give me a minute, guys. Yeah. Cannot find routes.init. Indrisha, no tech friends. Yeah, no problem. That is all right. We have 4 likes. That is awesome. We have 29, sorry, 3 viewers, 4 likes. That is good. So guys, if you are new, if you are just coming here, make sure to like this stream, and you can share it with your friends. Check out my other videos as well. And yeah. So I need to figure out, I need to implement init, uh, right? So we will do that. Hmm. How is everything going, guys? Is it cool? What are you doing today? What are you up to? What are you up to, guys? What are you up to? So let's delete this thing, and inside this, let's configure this thing first. So now we have created an associated function that we called over here on the configure, right? So I'll say public function init. This is the thing, right? So here I'll have a few things to be noted. I'll have a configuration over here, CFG, right? And will be a route. We can use this thing, but I think maybe service config active web service config, right? Okay, yeah, see, there's a function, completely well written function over here. It says function config mute web. I can do this cfg mute web service config, and inside this thing I can so it's completely well written documentation over, as you can see. I have a get request, I can do this, I can send a response. Okay, though this response would be collected from a different thing, because we are going to create an architecture that will have a separation of concerns, but this thing is good, right? So we can take a mutable service config variable, and it has a service method which I can add the resource as a route to. So I'll say and mute service config, right? So I can say cfg dot service. Here I'll have a factory, right? So it says resource, right? Resource web dot resource. Here I will have a path. I'll say check status, right? Check status. Now it's, I'll also have to implement a route. Now this route, as you can see, it's in the resource. So I hope you guys are able to see the documentation, right? So if I do a dot service dot resource that I did, right? Now I can do dot route, and here I can provide the route as well. So like I can say web dot resource slash container. Here on the route I can define what kind of request it is, if it's a get request, if it's a post request, and I can use dot to get handler as well. So I can define multiple routes here as well. So that's called a scope. I already have this video, a kind of short in my channel. So that's called scope. Now scope comes handy when you need to club all the routes that have a common prefix or that belong to a certain group. So you can scope them. So let's say you have multiple things. Let's say it's a user and it plays a game and it has a dashboard and it has an admin, so you can scope multiple APIs that have the routes. First of all, the prefix of route similar, or they belong to a certain group. So if all the APIs that belong to a play group, you can scope it under play. So you can use web.scope, right? So you can scope it under play, and you can create another scope for users as well, so that all the APIs related to user will go inside that. You can create a separate scope for dashboard, so that all the dashboard related API goes under that. So we will use that thing. All right. So instead of the good thing about documentation is to so I can do, so I'll have a service, right? And I can define over here scope. So it's actix web dot, oh, sorry, I want you to see the clear documentation. uh, I think this is the actix web scope, right? So here, as you can see, so I created a scope called project id slash project id, and I do service and all the routes related to this slash project id inside this thing. So this is how scope help us. It, it uh, confines the thing related to a particular group. So I'll be like, I will try to be very like this. So everything, every API should have a common like a versioning system, right? So all the API versioning of v1 will go inside this thing. If we update some APIs, then we will have a different versioning. So I'll use API slash v2 scope. So it's our new thing. So we'll do API dot v1. Right now I can use service. I'm not getting a service here. Why? Probably because if I do a configure inside a service, then I use a scope. Can I do service? No. Can I do, I have a dev service, but I need a dot service like this. I'll have a resource, actix resource, actix web resource, right? So this resource, so it will be inside the web. I think I'm getting something wrong over here. I should get this function, but again, I have a resource, actix web resource, right? So this thing, I think this is messing up. This thing is messing up. I should remove this thing. Maybe I could do a scope, and you see how messing things are. So I have a scope with small s, but I also have a scope with capital S. So they both are different. So if I want to use this thing inside service, I'll have to be, it should be inside web. So you can know it by, if you are working with the routes and all, you have to look out for inside the web uh, thing, right? So I'll have a resource. I will do it again now. I'll say resource. Okay. And dot, no, I'll have a resource. It will take a path. So I'll say uh, check status, right? Check status. I'll now use dot uh, route. Inside this dot route, I can pass route, actix web route dot to, but I should have a get as well, right? So it's a handler. So I think dot to is a handler, but I will also use get, web get. So it's a get function. Maybe dot to handler. So I think I should remove this thing. uh let's go again. Okay, I'll have a service dot route. So I'll have a route, and inside this, I'll use a get thing. So I'll say get. I'll say get. I'll say to. This to has a handler called check status. So I'm getting an error over here because I don't have this thing. Okay, now I cannot find check status. So the route that I should be used. Okay, now I need check status. So this check status will let me create few things first. I'll say repository. Here I'll have all our database connectivity. I'll say controllers. Here I'll have all my controllers. So from the route I'll send it to controller will contact to repository have all the files that will contact the database, make actual query to the database. So yeah, so we'll do this way. So I'll have mode.rs over here. Oh, sorry, I'll have mode.rs over here, and inside here I can say mm, test me. I'll say health.rs, right? I'll say pub mode health. Okay, and I'll call all these things in the main file. I'll call all these things in the main file. Not about doing advent of code. Okay, that is good. Advent of code. Yes, I think yeah, I heard about it. It's good. Uh, Good to always see these things. Hmm. Okay. So we have this thing, right? Now, what we'll do inside this health, I will write a status. I'll write a function that will check the health of a server. So before starting anything, or if the server is running, in order to check if the server is running, we will contact this endpoint so that it returns us the response. For now it will only returns okay if the request comes and go like through and through, it means the server is okay. But as soon as we add the database connectivity, we will update this function as well, so that it contact with the database as well, so that it validates the database connectivity is also working. So before that, we'll need another thing. Let's name it API responses .rs. Let's create a single API response over here, right? So that we can use it, so that we can use it over all the kind of responses. So it will be a generic response, like all, like that it has. So it will be right. So have a message that will be a string, and it will have results that will be a option, right? It will be a option of whatever the thing is coming onto, right? This fall is not in okay, that is fine. So this will be our API response. So whatever the response we will send it to client, it will be in this format. So we have defined the struct, we'll send this struct in a responder. So this way it's defined in one place for all the responses. Maybe we could have a separate response for other thing, that's why I named it responses. So health.rs, mode.rs, route. Now let's do mode controllers. Now the error should be gone. It says the trade bound. So now you can see the init problem that has been solved. Dot to uh, and let's do a cargo build. Let's check for this thing. It says it needs a U16. U16. How do we parse it? Anyone knows? Because this host is already in the it's already a string, right? So I'll say dot parse. How do we do that? Let's name it U16. I will parse it dot unwrap or else unable to parse. What a tragedy. Is unwrap or else. You know what? Will always have to be. Of course, if you are not using a result, then okay, now it's parsed. But it says it's a result of U16. Now there it is gone. So I think the bind it takes is a tuple that has a string slice and a port as U16. So we converted it to a string slice by using as a string as str, and we parse this thing to this. So unwrap or else, instead of unwrap or else, I should see another function so that I can also unwrap or so unwrap or I need to show the user as well that anyways, so that is fine. Yeah, let's go on init. And we need to implement check status, right? So let's go on controller. We already have our API response. On the health we will write like a sync function check health, and it will it will return a responder. So we'll make sure it will return a responder. But let's see first. It doesn't require anything over here, right? So let's see what responder is. So it's a trait. Okay, it's a trait and it responds. It takes yeah, I mean it I need to pass an API response with it. So that's what a responder is. Responder respond to HTTP response for result. Okay, so I need to pass this thing. So responder is what that need HTTP response, right? So if I close this thing and it needs so I'll say okay HTTP. Instead of this I can directly HTTP response. uh, okay, right, I have nothing to do here. Dot JSON. So I'll write API response here. I need to serialize this thing. So now we need something. So inside this thing I can say derive serialize. So for that I need a third JSON crate. Experimental. This is the thing. Third JSON. Hmm. 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 What is up, guys? What is up? What is up? So we have 4 likes. That is good. So we'll add this thing and we'll add another thing called, now that we are installing, let's add uh, codes as well. A text codes. So let's not do this way. So let's do this thing only. Serialize. This is not included anywhere. Not in this thing as well. Hub node API responses. Now I'll have this thing going. Macro serialize in this scope. So I'll have to maybe, do this. How do we do that? I do it version equal to this, features equal to, is it feature or features, guys? Any idea? Is it features or feature? So let's see if I am, so let's health. So we have API response will not be sending anything, so we'll be passing a string. Status will be of 200. MSG will be server is up and running, so it's a healthy, and results would be none. Of course I can, always do this thing. Okay, now what the fuck is going on? Sorry. Cargo clean. Failed to select the version of suggestion which could resolve this thing. I can just say I think updating a file, it automatically I think building this thing because there is a lock already on this thing. So I mean updating a toml file, right? So yeah. All right. Building. Okay, it is required by this bound in builder. Yes, of course. Service config. There is a problem in adding it says try adding a return type on the routes. Uh, let's go here. We have this thing, right? Uh, uh, dot default service. So we could have a default service of here as well. So we can say not found. So anything other than these things would be considered a 404 route. 404 route, right? So I'll have web dot to, and there will be a handler that says not found. So uh, so it's a catch-all route. All right, we have two people watching. No problem. I hope you guys are would be able to understand what I'm doing. If you face any issues, please feel free to ask. Okay. So I didn't pin the chat, right? So pin message. So I also have created a a GitHub issue for my previous projects that I was doing on the stream. So you can check that out as well. Uh-huh. Yeah. So this issue that we faced for the return type, because I think the removing the semicolon is automatically takes it as a return type, so it said you should add this thing. Now let's go over here and create another function that says not found. It will return uh, it will return a type that implements a responder, right? So http response dot will I find not found. Why do I'm getting this thing? The trade bound assert serialize is not satisfied. ठीक है, let's cannot find serialize macro. Maybe I could reopen it. Okay, anyways, first of all, let's implement this thing. So not found. So it could be something like that. I'm not sure why I'm getting this API response again. It could be of type string. I'll copy this thing. Instead of 200, I will use 404, and I'll say route not found. Okay. Found keyword async for a full list of items that can appear. What the heck? I don't want to use semicolon because I need to return this thing. Why the heck are you asking me to implement a semicolon? Expected bang? What the heck? Not found. I can. I guess the IntelliSense just failed. Mode.rs API responses. I think there is a problem with this thing. Once it get fixed with this JSON thing, right? I'm not getting any issue on this, but getting on this. If I comment this thing, I'm still getting on this. So I think the issue is with the third thing. Do you have any projects using Dioxus? No. Nope. No, sir. Serialize. I am not able to, I should have IntelliSense up working till now, but I guess this is the problem. So I'll use serve serialize. Expected this thing. Cannot find derived macro serialize in this scope. I already, it is the problem of, I think it is the problem of the editor. I'm sure because I have implemented serialized using this thing. So let me just open it again. Expected item. I'll name it error 404. You see the mistake? You see the silly things that I'm doing? Okay, now it says it needs to be search serialized, but I already did that. Do I need to do something else? Oh, let me remove everything and now let me re-add this thing. Derive third serialize. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. What could be happening? Okay, so guys, we have 4 likes. Can we make it to 10? I think getting 4 likes on desktop version is good. Uh, can you imagine the system? Okay. Search serialize is not implemented. Acquired by search serialize root and 2 not found. So maybe I exit. Oh bhai, I'm using it, yaar. Come on, are you kidding me? I'm doing all this thing, right? So let me just why don't I copy this entire thing? Cannot find the derive macro. What could be the issue? I need to search it now. Enough is enough. Serialize is important, but it's only a trade without a derive macro. Without a derive macro, it's only a trait. Unused imports. I think we are good now. No. Oh. Why don't I call it? Cannot find derive macro serialize. But I need to do that. Maybe let's go here. Learning the serialize macro plus third. Assert serialize and deserialize. So I said this, I did this, and I did this, but it's not working. What could be wrong here? Using the do I cannot find derive macro serialize. Can't find derive macro. Maybe I could use this version and feature. We are waiting for artifacts to build. Cargo check is running. Okay, it is solved now. So I think this was the issue of using the flags on toml file. So we are good here now as well. So this issue is solved. If I go on routes, I need to just fetch check status and not found. I can use health not found, and same thing I can do not found and check health. Uh, okay. All right. So we haven't used route because we already did that thing. We haven't used to as well. All right. So this the shitload of issues that were we facing are resolved. So let me go through it one by one. We created a main function. We started a server, fetch the this thing from the env file, the port number and host URL, and we ran it. Now, in order to configure routes, we created a directory called route. Inside that, we created a module, and we created an associated function within which we will define all our routes. Okay, and it is configured on this server by using .configure method provided. So if I go over here, I can see what is this thing? Okay. It's app.rs. It's a separate thing. If I go on routes.init, what I did, I created init function. It takes a service config function. Now this service config function provides a hell lot of methods that we can use in our application to make our robust routing, right? So the one thing is scope. So every routes you can scope them together that have common prefix or that belong to a common group. You can prefix those together. Sale, what do you do personally? I am a web developer. Okay, so it does like that. I have API v1 common scope. It will be for all. Then we have a service inside which we can define our path of the route. Okay, so our API would seem something like some URL dot port for localhost slash API slash v1 slash check. Maybe there should be two slash, so I should remove this. So I'll have check status, and check status we define a route that is of type get, as you can see get, and dot two is the handler from to which we will handle this route. So for now we have check health, right? So this is a health check route, and this is another very good feature. It is called catch all routes. It's called catch all routes. So what it does, anything that doesn't belong to us, all our scopes. So let's say we check slash get all the passwords. Of course, we are not going to create that API endpoint, but if someone tries to do that, he will receive a message that says not found. Okay, either so instead of not found, you can say something like error or something like that. So it's called catch all route. So any route that doesn't belong to, that doesn't match with any of the routes declared above will go inside this thing. All right, so if I go inside this not found, I have written a async function for not found and check health. We'll follow the same strategy for writing all the functions in the controller, and from controller we will send or make call to the functions inside repository folder that we have created, and that repository folder will contact the database. Its main purpose is to contact the database, build up a query, contact the database, fetch the data, and send it back to the this controller. And now controller this let's say this check health, it will return something. It will return something. What does this signature means? It will return something that implements a responder. So HTTP response of Actix web implements a responder, and this is what we do to send the response back. So it has multiple things like okay, not found, internal server error. So all the web related responses that you can find is available on the HTTP response, and it implements a responder as well. So that is why we returned this thing from here. Instead of writing return, I didn't use a semicolon. That is why it is considering it as a return thing. So for check health, I'm writing just okay. All right. and now I'm sending a JSON back to the client. And for that thing, I already have created a API response struct, right? So it will be used in all our APIs. So it has some common signature like status, a message, and results. Results is an option here, so that let's suppose I'm fetching the orders from the database. So I'll use an option. I'll pass that thing, wrap it in an option, and send it back as a results. So on the client side, if I need to access that those things, I'll use results from the response. And this is the message, as you know, if you are aware of these terminologies, right? So this is create once and use it everywhere, instead of writing all this all the things. So we created a default API response. It will be used by all of our responses that we'll send back to the client. So we created these two. We have routes on the separate file. So as you can see on the documentation of this thing, it declared these files over here, right? With a get tag over here, post tag. So instead of these route declared over here, we created a separate file, and we configure those by using .configure method, right? It should be there on the next thing. So as you can see, yeah, app.new service, web.scope, as you can see. So it prefixes all resource and route attached to it. So it handle the get request for this thing. So I have a route, I have a get, I have a handler to index, a bind, run, await. So instead, this documentation did everything over here, but we kind of, created a separate folder. So maybe it would be somewhere in the next chapters. So this app state, it is also very useful when we will send the data from the client. Now we will do a type checking there. So we will have a middleware sitting on the server that will check the request type that we will send. It will make sure that the parameter that are needed are there and their type is same as the required type. So we'll make it kind of very strongly typed thing. So this app state will be used to pass data to the controller, right? So this app state, of course, it needs to be thread safe. So we'll use arc and mutex over here. So we'll do that as well. As you can see, the app state is wrapped up in mutex so that it is, it can mutate safely in between the threads without any race conditions. These things, let's go up, using an application scope. Okay, this is the scope that we have already discussed. Service scope guard, so you can create multiple scope, right? So it's a host, so it's a scope of API. Again, let's go up on the server. So it has done everything over here on this thing. Okay. Automatically it starts a number of HTTP work. By default, this number is equal to the number of physical CPUs on the system. The numbers can be overridden with the workers method. So, okay. So, this is all we need to implement this thing. So the thing that it doesn't tell it over here is dot configure method, so that we want to do it separately. This is what I figured out when I first implemented this thing. So this is all the experience that I'm telling about here, that route is up in a different file, and we configure it by using dot configure. And inside this thing, http server new app new, we will do we have also have a another function called wrap that Actix Web provides, that is used to wrap up middlewares. It's specifically for middlewares. So we'll create middlewares there as well that will check for the API and all. So now what we need to do, let's run this now. So I'll do maybe, should I run it on the, let me just post the terminal. Fast. Text red cell do cargo make run. So it says running the server, building the artifacts, building. Okay, it is running, I think. So we'll go here. We'll check if we get any response back. We need to, modify this thing because currently I cannot see anything written over here. I only see running the server, but there should be a status log that says, okay, this thing is running on the this thing. So hopefully, if before the running part, I will, println that server is running on, I'll say this at port this, so I'll say host and port not lstr. So let's see, I did a watch on this thing, so it should be okay. Now I'm getting server is running on localhost. This is the IP and the port 3002. Okay, so this will make us sure. Let's check if are we getting something. How can I raise? Okay, if you guys can see this. So is it Postman is already running inside a browser? Is it so? What do you guys think? So I have a local host 3002 API slash v1 slash check health. So it says route not found. It means our not found route is working. You see a catch-all route. This is what we gave a message, right? Route not found. And if I do a check status, it says server is up and running. So our API is working through and through, right? So yes, server is up and running. Maybe I could be more specific. If I go over here, check status, check health, I'll say hi Vipin. Instead of server is up and running, I'll say server is healthy. So it will automatically restart. It will hot reload because I am watching the directory. If I send it again, it'll say hi Vipin, server is healthy. So there you have it, guys. So what we learned today? We learned how to create a makefile and give commands as aliases so that we can have our custom set of instruction running that we can run instead of writing the whole set of long commands. Secondly, we added a env file and we imported key value pairs from there so that I mean that's a crucial step, right? Right. We created a separate route file and we added it into our server code by using configure method, right? We will add middlewares and that can be added by using a wrap method of ActiveSwap. We also created an HTTP responses struct that we are going to use as a our solid response, a common response that we will send across all our API responses. We also learned that in ActiveSwap, if you want to return something, we have to return something that implements a responder, and HTTP response of ActiveSwap implements a responder. So we need to return that thing. Okay. And HTTP response have all the responses that you can see on the web, like okay, not found, internal server error, 404 error, some I mean anything. Correct. So I think this is up for today. We have established a connection with ActiveWeb and created a server out of it. Created two endpoints for catch-all routes and health check route, and those connections and API requests went through and through. Tomorrow, we will connect it to a database, and then we'll start working. Then we'll have some real fun. Okay. I'll post this things URL on GitHub so that you guys can check this out. This thing you will not get it on Actix web website, because they have already, it's a documentation, right? That's how documentation is. They only give you details, but these things that you should have a separate route, what all features and what all functions that Actix web provide to implement and achieve those uh, designs. uh, so I think this is what you have it, and this should be a common practice to do so. Routes on different file, we should have a controllers that are basically the handlers, and then they will pass the data to the repository file, where repository functions that will make contact to database or create a queries or build up queries safely, so that it doesn't have any SQL injection errors and all. So yeah, like that. This should be the structure. So thank you very much, guys. Maybe we could wait for 5 to 10 minutes if you guys have any questions, and make sure to share this video with your friends and check out other videos on the channel. Any, if you guys are watching at any point of the time, and I'll see you tomorrow. So are the viewers, I mean, like, one thing, you can give me feedback as well, so you don't have to stay, you know, you can always give me a feedback about this thing. Okay. Or how is everything going, guys? Are you finding yourself comfortable? Okay. Don't be shy. Come on, chat. Say hi. All right. So I think that's it for today. We have achieved something. We learned how to do, like, how we set up Actix web for all these things. Tomorrow we'll have a DB connection ready, and we'll start making queries to the DB. And after that we'll have another features as well, like middlewares, type checking of the incoming API request, some providing some safety. We'll start with login, and how to create a hash out of a password and save that hash instead of a password. And next time when the password arrives, you're gonna check that hash with the existing hash on the table, and if it's matches, then it's a successful login. Then you generate a token and send it back to the client, so that it gets saved on the cookies. So we'll do something like that. So yeah, see you later, guys. I'll be live again for, I don't know, 15-20 minutes on the mobile view, so that I can get some additional, I guess mobile views have more people watching this thing, right? One common thing is everyone is on the mobile and the shorts get feeds randomly to anyone. It doesn't watch audience. It just be there while you scrolling on the shorts. You just happen to be seeing any live coding guy. With the desktop one, I think you get very less audience, but the audience in the desktop mode is very filtered. So the stream they will see only if they are related to a tech background, unlike on the shorts one that it gets feed to everyone. Amazing. Okay, people, it's been a nice session. Hopefully, uh, we will wrap these things quickly and we'll have another project. And then maybe we can think of, I don't know, something, system, we'll do something related to systems programming that is quite fun. Maybe we could replicate, I don't know, we'll see. One good project that I had fun while doing it was replicating redis, and it's not a complete replica, but it's a basic, small features of redis in memory database. I moved up to a b tree implementation of the records that automatically, so that was fun. Okay, I think it's time to go. It was nice meeting with you guys. You can, always, I will create a repository and then share it with you guys on the post maybe, so you can check this code over there and run it on your own, check for the issues, fix those, and create a PR. You can create the issues as well. All right, bye bye guys, see you later. uh, Tomorrow we'll do something good. Okay, if you guys are watching it on later point of time, maybe you can switch to 1.5x. I should have like told this earlier, but maybe I can comment this thing and pin that comment on the comment section, so that if anyone is watching from that, from like start, they can directly switch back to 1.5x. Okay guys, bye, see you later, hopefully on the mobile stream, just after I cancel this stream. Bye bye, see you later.